Hey everyone, welcome to episode 26, and today we are listening to Ghost's very first album. I recently listened to their latest album, Skeletor, but here we are listening right at the beginning of their recording career, I suppose. It's Opus Eponymous, which apparently is Latin for self-titled work. So there you go. It was released on October 18th, 2010 on an independent record label, Rise Above. And this album, their debut album, nominated for a Swedish Grammy, which is pretty cool. The Japanese release contains a cover of the Beatles song Here Comes the Sun, which is very intriguing because hearing their latest album, Ghost's latest album, and then the song Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, I can't work out how that's going to work. So very interesting. I'll be very interested to hear that. I don't know if it's on this version I'm listening to today because I doubt the Japanese version is the one I've got here. But I will definitely take a look at that cover at some point because that sounds pretty cool. Anyway, a nameless ghoul explained that the songs on Opus Anonymous were written in 2007 and 2008, around 2 years before the album was released. It was the songs that caused Ghost to become a theatrical band with their satanic theme. And then there's a quote here: very early on, when the material came together in the project phase, before it was actually a band, when it was a logo and a couple of songs, it came together by itself because the material and the lyrics sort of screamed over the top commitment to the dark side. It is hard to make that credible and really eerie. What we thought of when we heard the songs was basically a band that looks like the way we do now. A member said that it was the song Stand By Him that heralded the start of the band while being together in another band. Ghost started when I played the riff to everybody else. I said that this is probably the most heavy metal riff that has ever existed. That is quite a claim. When the chorus came to me, it haunted my dreams. Every time I picked up the guitar, I ended up playing that progression, and when I fit the words in, it seemed to cry out for satanically orientated lyric. This was in 2006 when we came up with the name Ghost. It seemed only natural to build on the foundation of this heavy imagery within the concept. We were able to combine our love of horror films and, of course, the traditions of Scandinavian metal. There you go. So we're just going to dive in. It's a very short album, guys. It's I want to say, 35 minutes, I think, or so. Yeah. So I have no idea what this is going to sound like. Apparently it's very different to the way they sound now, to a certain extent. But yeah. So we've got Juice Colpra. And here we go. Let's check it out. One to the 5. 4. It's got like a slight reverse thing going on. I love the way the chords are deliberately overhanging each other to create these this dissonance. Oh, nice little minor 7 chord in there. 6, like a major 6 chord. E minor. So it did the 5 of E minor, so it did B minor a minute ago. Oh, okay. Con Clavi con Dio, next track. We've set the scene. dirty organ lyrics. That was cool. I like the way the vocal started singing, singing the guitar riff. Oh, and they've sneakily gone to A because before it was on D. So when they were singing, I think it was, yeah, they'd moved to the A there, which is interesting. Back to D. Starts off, Lucifer, we are here for your praise, evil one. Good opening lyric for this kind of album, I suppose. That guitar line. What's that? Love a fade out. Cool. Because this band are not, from like the 80s, 90s, they started in the 2000s, sort of, just before 2010, wasn't it? So the production is fine. You listen to like, sorry about that. You listen to some, like Opeth's first couple of albums, which I've not actually sat and listened to yet, but, I've been told it's like really raw and the production's like, you have to kind of get through it sort of thing. Because this band's a little bit later, everything sounds great. Still sounds like, Tobias. I like the backing vocals and sort of choir thing. It's what you would imagine, in that kind of setting that they're sort of presenting. Okay, here we go. Ritual. D. Yeah, it's really catchy, like the two-part sort of harmony. That we had two-part harmony on the first song as well, which is nice to hear. Smells of dead human sacrifices from the altar. Metal. Yeah, it reminded me of Metallica at the opening of the verse. Not vocally, but just melodically a little bit at the start of the verse, and obviously the heavy guitar riffs and stuff. So it goes back to A flat, which is it was sort of doing at the beginning of the song before it went to the D riff. So sort of C minor, maybe? So the B flat. So the B flat going from being the 7 in C minor to the 4 of F major to resolve there. And then C minor. Oh, then the 5 of C minor. sus4 to the major. Tritone, we love it. That's interesting. I think they're using the F sharp on the way up. And then maybe F on the way down, like a Phrygian thing. I might have just made that up. Yeah. Cool. Oh, nice. Evil. Tritone again from the E flat. Let's just go back a bit and listen to that. Bit more growly. I've not heard that from Tobias. Yeah, this album seems kind of more in your face, kind of evil, and yeah, just it is what it is, kind of thing. It's just there in your face, isn't it? I can definitely hear where Tobias has progressed vocally from the very first album to the album I've heard, the latest album. Still sounds great, but you can tell like he's not. I don't know, just not as. It might be the way it's recorded, but the tone's not as good. Not as stable. But hey, I'm not a vocal coach, but that's just what I'm kind of hearing. Still sounds cool though. Yeah. Fade out, love a fade out. That's beautiful. Yeah, the solo really making use of those chord tones. You know, breaking up the chord in some places like that, and but not afraid to land on notes like the second. You know, occasionally he'd land. I can't remember what chord it was, but he'd land on the second. But yeah, beautiful solo, love it. Right, what's next? Again, very catchy. Elizabeth. You know when it's like a hot summer's day and you get a nice cold can of Coke or something like that, and you open it and you take that first sip. That's the noise you make, right? Head voice. like the effects on that guitar, the way it's been recorded as well. Nice groove. B flat minor, G flat. C major, that's interesting. It lies above. Is it over the E? C over E? Oh yeah, it's over the 7. So it's like a kind of like a C7, but over its 7. So C over B flat basically. So lovely, love that chord. And it's sort of a weaker 5-1 as opposed to like, you know, C in the bass. It's doing the B flat in the bass, but still got the C. It's just generally a C chord still. Still like implying dominant 7th. But root movement wise, it's a 4-1, which is weaker than a 5-1 anyway. So yeah, it's quite an interesting way to get to the F major there. Then stays in the keyboard there. G flat. And then the F major there, which is the 5 of the B flat minor. I'll change key. Dong. Same progression, but this time instead of doing that dominant 7 over it, like C over B flat thing, they actually go to the proper full major chord. Let's go back a bit. Here, it's major. That was a great ending. Yeah, really making use of that organ. Like I said earlier, like it's really what you'd expect, like kind of a church, but like with the Satan kind of thing going on, the evil kind of organ that's actually in the church that they're in. Do you know what I mean? It kind of gives that vibe. Yeah. Here we go. Turn that off. There we go. Right. Next song. What have we got? Stand By Him. Is this the one that they said is the... Yeah, said it's the heaviest. Probably the most heaviest metal riff that ever existed. Well, we'll be the judge of that. Or we'll just listen and enjoy it. Okay. That might not be the riff. That reminds me of... Reminds me of Beat It by Michael Jackson. That's what I'm getting straight away. Tritones. Nice. I really like this song. It has some, to me, has some unique things happening sonically, like the sort of weird guitar solo thing. I know people have done, guitar harmony like that before, but it just, the way it's presented and the note choice just sounded quite unique. And then the 3-time thing, it's just a real left turn, and it's just sounded really heavy to me. And then this section as well. Just, quite a unique track. I like it. The moon shone bright above the trial as flames sate through her body. The witch hammer struck her down. An hour 7th, she's unbound. 'Tis the night of the witch. 'Tis the night of the witch tonight. And the vengeance is hers for as long as she stands by me. 'Tis the night of the witch. 'Tis the night of the witch tonight. And the vengeance is hers for as long as she stands by me. That reminds me of I'd never known a girl like you before. Just that little melody reminded me of that. Music does that to you, doesn't it? Reminds you of other things. D major, ending on a bit of hope. That was awesome. Satan Prayer. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. That reminds me of Bad by Michael Jackson. Do, 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 do. I'm bad. That's what it reminds me of. That's the second Michael Jackson song this album has reminded me of. What are the chances of that? Satanic, Pope-esque, evil music has reminded me of Jacko. There you go. Harmony on this side is on this song. Again, the bass is really standing out to me on this album. Very melodic playing.
Here I say to prayer, aren't I to see a creed?
Offbeat.
Here I say to prayer, for the coming of sea. Here I say to prayer, aren't I to see a creed? Here I say to prayer, for the coming of sea. Here I say to prayer, aren't I to see a creed? Here I say to prayer, for the coming of sea.
That was cool, unexpected as well. It was like some kind of synth at the end there that started joining in that really worked. Sort of added in this this texture and just made it into this big kind of warm sound. Worked so well. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to hear that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so next we have Knell. Knell. Yeah, again, utilising that head voice again. It's quite a weak kind of sound when he does that head voice. I'm just not sure. Not sure how I feel about that, but I do like that. That what's happening musically on the Evoke the King of Hell bit. That was really cool, vocally, melodically. Yeah, just really catchy and big sound. Okay, next verse I think it is. A bit more gentle. There's the chimes. Higher that time. Bell is always on beat 3. like the variation in the lyrics where it's like 666, sex, 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 and then SATAN, Satan. Sort of that little change, quite clever lyric thing to do. I really like that. Okay. We've got 2 songs left. Prime Mover and Genesis. Okay, so Prime Mover. So the bass, the guitar is doing this A octave thing, and then the bass is doing C sharp. So it's implying this kind of A over C sharp thing. And then the other guitar is making it very creepy. Yeah, completely clashing with that other chord. Okay, so it goes. So it's going up a semitone from the A, then doing a major third, then going up a major third, and then down a semitone. So yeah, really kind of odd combination of notes, making it very, very eerie. Oh, it's changing slightly each time. But yeah, that's the effect, isn't it? Reminds me of Opeth. Kind of early Opeth. It's all the minor stuff. That kind of muted guitar sound, excuse me, always reminds me of, I always call it spider guitar. It's like a little spider creeping along. Don't know why. Kind of System of a Down vibes. can't remember what song it is that has the spider guitar in it. That's creepy. Another verse. Very gentle harmonies there. Kind of got that kind of gallop guitar going on, which I noticed on the new album they have that kind of riffage. So it obviously likes that kind of rhythm and timing, you know. Gives it movement, doesn't it? I suppose. Drum fill was interesting. What's that? I can't tell if it's like kind of a bit sloppy or it's just the rhythm of it, like the francticity of it. That's not a word, is it? I just made that up. Franticity, the franticness of it. Yeah, I can't tell if it's that or if it's just a bit sloppy. It's probably because it's intended to be, I'd imagine. But yeah, it just kind of caught me off guard a bit. I like that hi-hat rhythm. So shiny. Let's have the light down. Still shiny. Filthy. I like that, and straight into Genesis. Let me hear that ending again. Nice. Yeah. I don't know if that song's gonna be very memorable to me or stick with it, but yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's got some nice moments. Genesis, here we go. It's like a clavy sound. Oh, is it that? Asking myself. So D minor stuff and then B flat. G minor. Whatever that is. I like these sort of sounds. I've always liked these. They sound very pretty on piano. Over different bass notes, you know. Yeah, beautiful. That's me grabbing the cymbals. Very melodic. Yeah, again, very pretty melodic stuff. Almost halfway through the song, there's no vocal. I'm assuming this is some sort of instrumental. Love the album cover. Nice drum fill. Still D minor. C. Spacey. That same line as the guitar was playing. Oh, nice acoustic. I don't remember hearing any acoustic on this album. Not like this anyway. Okay, this reminds me of Opeth as well. Sudden chord changes to minor chords. All over the place, keywords. Ending on D major. Nice. Well, that ending was a bit unexpected for sure. That ending was unexpected. Can definitely tell it's like their debut album, just from the production and just the general writing and the vocals and stuff. But brilliant musical ideas though. Still lovely things happening, you know. I watched an interview with Tobias, the lead singer, and he was saying about he was talking about his solo record, which never got released, I don't think. I might be murdering his name, Passaflower or something like that. I think that was his. Apparently it's really popular now. Like it's, we didn't have much traction back in the day when it came out, or when he was going to release it, I suppose. So nothing really happened with it. But anyway, what he said about that album was he wished he recorded or wrote the songs in changed the keys, so it was in a better key to suit his voice. And he also said that about this first album, and I kind of can hear that. I can see what he means. Picking, because I mentioned about his head voice and stuff, which is fine, but it's just quite, a slightly lower key on some songs would just give him more control, wouldn't it? I suppose. I'd imagine. I'm not a vocalist, but I'd imagine it would be a little bit more comfortable and get a bit more power in the falsetto and stuff like that. But yeah, very cool to have a little travel back in time, 2010, and see where Ghost started. Very exciting. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and looking forward to covering more Ghost on the channel. Take care, guys. Bye.